Hey, I'm Chuck Liddell. You're watching Icebreakers.
Watching Icebreakers. My name's Adam Ray. I'm on the show too.
Trying to
We're talking about dreams. Do you have them? Do you need them? Chuck, what do you dream about?
What do I dream about?
Sorry to come in hard with the hard-hitting questions.
A lot of different stuff. I don't know.
Do you have nightmares? Do you take stuff to go to bed? You know what I'm saying? Like, I've seen you fall asleep on camera before.
I fall asleep easy. Yeah,
yeah, dude.
Pretty
I
easy.
just watched that last night in Dallas.
It was pretty funny. It
was amazing.
You know, the funny thing is they came and tested me because they thought I was on coke. I'm like, did you see the interview?
Yeah, yeah. Do you know what coke does?
Yeah.
Doesn't make you pass out, does it?
Doesn't make any sense.
Yeah.
But
also, sometimes you go, that's on the guy. Like, just as we were talking off camera, you were like, man, you seem out of it. Did you hit your head? And I was like, I feel like I did because I slept like dog shit and I had to do press early this morning for my shows in Denver, and I was...
Yeah, well, that was what I was saying. We were on that. I was on doing a press tour for 300.
Yeah.
They did. I wasn't in the movie, but they paid me to do a press tour for it.
Awesome.
It was an awesome movie. And actually, side note, one of the coolest things I did was watch it before it had the CGI put in.
Whoa.
So you see the green screen with like a little...
Oh, yeah.
It was pretty funny, but some of it was pretty funny like that, but I got to watch it like that. And then...
But their muscles were real, right? They didn't CGI those, or did they?
No.
Yeah.
That was right.
Yeah.
That was real. But anyway, so I went and like, I was going at, flying to a new city every day, getting up in the morning. Fuck. Now, and so I was in Dallas, and a friend of mine's wife got hurt, like fell down, and so we went to the hospital. We didn't even really go out. We went to dinner, and then we went to visit her at the hospital.
Whoa.
And then I was like, man, I just can't get to sleep early. I've been sleeping enough, and like I was coughing. I got caught in a cold, and I was getting sick.
Yeah.
So I was coughing a bunch. I couldn't sleep. So he's like, "Man, take this Ambien." So I took it. So I took an Ambien.
How many?
I just took one.
I've
never taken anything like that. I've never taken it again, by the way. But I took it, and I went, and I don't know how they got me up. I don't remember. I don't remember getting home. No, I don't remember getting home. I was in Dallas. I flew to San Diego. Someone picked me up and drove me home to San Luis Obispo.
Holy shit.
And I don't remember getting home.
Yeah, dude. The guy also wasn't the most energetic interviewer. And like the setting just seemed so conducive. Like you were on a comfy couch.
Well, the funny thing was, it's like they got me there. I don't know how. I mean, the thing was, it was the production company. And sad thing is, they knew I shouldn't have been going on set. They knew. Yeah. They just knew they were going to get pressed for it. Yeah. So they said, "Go ahead." And I was used to always doing press tours with the UFC people. They wouldn't have let me leave the room looking like that. Like I don't even know how they woke me up.
Yeah. Well, he just goes.
I guess they didn't really completely wake me up, but
no. I mean, the guy just was like, he's like, Chuck, you're here promoting the movie, right? Chuck. And there's just like a half second where you're just like, which is like the dream. Like everybody just wants to pass out. But at least you didn't do, like there's interview snafus where I've seen, famously like Paula Abdul went on a morning show where she was, I don't know if she was still drunk or on something. I don't know if you've seen this where she's like, they cut to her and they're like, Paula Abdul, thanks for joining us. And she's like, immediately just starts laughing. So that's never a good sign if you're trying to showcase how sober you are, because they haven't said anything other than good morning. And she's like, it's a great part of the town where you're coming from. And they were like, yeah, so anyway. And then there's one of Tony Danza where he's talking shit about the show he's about to go on, but he doesn't know he's on. So he's like, yeah, these fucking morning shows, you get on this bullshit and they do all this stuff and they get on and it's like, we're in fucking bumfuck nowhere. And then they come on and it's like, they're going to ask me some stupid fucking question. And the woman's like, and she's on air and she goes, Tony, we can hear you. And he's like, these fucking idiots. He's like, we're just going to talk to them about who the fuck knows what. They don't even care. Nobody's watching. She goes, Tony, we can hear you. Tony. And then all of a sudden, like his shit turns on and he goes, oh, hi. He goes, you heard all that? She goes, yeah, we heard all that. And he's like, yeah, well, it's true. Like, who's watching right now? And it was just so awkward. But so at least you avoided that,
I wasn't doing anything consciously.
No, yeah, you were out. You committed to falling asleep. 300 was I don't want to say it was one of the first like movies that CGI wise was so crazy, but it definitely, because Jurassic Park is what I think of when I think of one of the first movies where you were like, holy shit, like there's a new way of making movies. But 300 was bonkers. Did you see it in the theaters or?
Oh yeah, of course, yeah.
Blown away?
Awesome. Yeah, it was awesome.
Yeah. That's the type of shit that I feel like. Now, how come you weren't in that? Did you try to get in that?
No, I didn't. I didn't know about it. I wasn't doing as much acting back then.
Yeah. Yeah, you were more doing you were more boot scooting boogieing.
Yeah.
Dude, I did a little deep dive last night to find some more things that maybe you hadn't discussed on some of these shows. And Dancing with the Stars, let's just say this. It became, so popular that it's like, it's a cool thing to go on it. And when you went on it, and I think it did the salsa first, right?
I'm not sure what I did first. It has to be the order. I don't know.
Yeah,
but I did one now.
Was it? Do you say yes to that stuff because you're like, oh, this is so not what I do, and it's gonna be fun, or did you have to see a certain amount of athletes do it?
Honestly, it was like it was a great place to get. We're still trying to expand the sport.
Fuck yeah!
And it's definitely not my demographic that is watching that show. So, and humanizing us and making us not. Because some people that weren't watching us thought we were Neanderthals, and you get to talk and you be normal. Hey, I got kids. Did a bit with my kids.
Yeah,
and, it's just makes you a little more normal. But it was more for me. I was taking some time off, deciding whether I was going to still fight or not.
Oh right.
And if I was going to retire yet, and then I decided, I might as well do this and help promote the sport another way.
That's smart.
So I went and did Dancing with the Stars.
Yeah, just seeing.
They'd offered me like a year before that. I
wasn't feeling it.
And I was busy fighting. That's what I felt. I'm busy training and fighting. I'm not taking any time off. But at that time when I did it, I was kind of in that. Am I gonna try it again or am I done?
Right. Yeah, it was really. You were really silly on it too, which was great, and definitely leaned into like what the show is. I remember there was at one point where the guy was like, so we got down I think it was salsa, and then she's like, so this is the new dance we're going to try, and she explains this whole thing to you and says what it's going to require and all this, and then you just kind of take a beat and go, yeah, we'll see what happens. And it was just a very real moment of like, fuck, I don't know, like this isn't what I do.
Yeah, I'm going to try. Right?
Yeah.
No, man.
Do those types of gigs, like they're obviously not like career defining, but is there something that you've gotten to do from fighting that you go, oh man, that was bucket list shit?
Well, yeah, there's quite a few things. I was on The Simpsons.
What?
I was a character on The Simpsons. I got to guess. I was a cameo. I did a cameo on The Simpsons, and I did.
What the fuck?
Like the Entourage bit. I asked everybody I knew that had anything to do with the show because that was my favorite show.
Me too.
And it was probably the last show I actually watched every
Sunday, right?
Yeah, every Sunday. I'd be out of town. I'd go find a place to watch it.
Is it great?
And
so great to have that.
It was fun.
Yeah, it's an event.
And I asked everybody I knew, and I think they all took credit for getting me the part. I didn't mind thanking them. I don't care. Okay, hey, thanks guys. Whatever. Everyone took it. But it was cool. I just wanted to walk on set and say hi to Vince or something like that. Like,
because the show was great about those cameos.
But then they said, I think I talked to the writer, and he said, hey, we're gonna have Chuck on here. We're doing this punk show with
Paulie.
With Paulie, so why don't we just make him the punk?
Yeah.
And it turned out great, man. It was awesome.
Dude, it was awesome. Yeah, because then it would end up being like 3 scenes. It was like the whole parking lot thing.
The parking lot one, then it was.
And I remember watching that too, and I haven't told you this yet, but I remember watching being like very impressed because, again, only seeing like bit things here and there. And so having a show that is the biggest show on at the time and having like an arc like that and having to, I think a lot of people, when they see someone doing something that's not their main bag, they have a bigger microscope on them, right? So I'm watching trying to do acting, being like, oh, this guy's doing the jobs that I want to be doing. And then you watch and you go, all right, he was fucking good. You know what I'm saying? Like, it was believable.
Oh, thanks. Yeah, it was good. I think, I was glad I got tipped off. I had a big part, some long lines in it.
Yeah, more stuff to jump in and chew on, right?
I like doing it. It's something I've been trying to work on, and I work on with people. So, it was fun to get out there.
What was the set like? Was it pretty chill, or was it?
Oh, it was cool. It was awesome. They were great to work with. The guys were like real helpful and really good dudes.
Did they give you like acting tips or anything, or did you kind of just like prep on your own? And
no, I prepped on my own. I got there and. And it was good. I mean, I had a good time. They made it real comfortable, and they're good.
Yeah, they are, right?
You know, and I found that it's easier for me to act when the other guys around me are acting good. They're doing a good job. It's so much easier for me to, because I mean, and they make it real simple because now I can pretend I'm there.
Right.
You know, if they're doing it, they're giving it to me right. You know, doing performing the way they should. It's easier for me.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah, that is true because it's like, I mean, I think about the things I've done for buddies just when they're getting going, and it's like, you know, amateur shit, and they're just like, can you help us just like add a little experience to whatever it is, and you're just like, oh God, like trying to act with someone or that just doesn't. I mean, it's probably like the same way if you're fighting somebody that just doesn't. Well, like the person that you were fighting in the ring was probably another trained for the show,
always,
right?
Well, that was my guy.
Oh, really?
Yeah, I had
cool.
him as my guy. One of my sparring partners. He's Scott Liddell.
Oh, that's awesome.
One of my buddies. He was a fighter, K1 guy.
How hard do you go for the show? Like, is there like are you like 70%?
Well, no, we could spar. Me and him would go as hard as they wanted us to go.
Yeah.
I mean, we train together all the time. I'm not worried about him doing something silly. So
yeah,
you know, and really all you worry about is someone doing something stupid while you're not doing something, you know, getting hurt that way. That's not, because they tried to use one of their stunt guys. I said no, I'm gonna be, you know, I gotta work out. I'm training. So I need I'll do it, but I need one of my guys to be my sparring.
Yeah, that was smart because then it felt so real, and that was such a great shot too of like the way they kind of shot from having you see Drama through the cage, and he's just kind of standing there, and then you're just like Johnny Drama, and he's just like, "What's up, Chuck?" You're just fucking looking right at him. It was so terrifying. What did I write down here? We both know Steve-O.
Yes.
From Jackass.
Yes.
Does the whole Jackass world, like, how much of that do you look at when you see what they're doing and go, all right, what I'm doing is pretty fearless in the cage and very few people can do. But I look at like what Steve-O does with putting shit up his ass or bees on his...
I never really liked watching that stuff. I'm not a big fan of it, but it's crazy. I mean, the stuff they do is nuts. I mean, he's nuts. Like the stuff he's like, it's great.
yeah.
I think he's a great dude. I love him, but he's nuts. Like he came in. We did something in my house where he's like had me try to give him cauliflower. You know, I'm like, he trusted me with a golf club, hitting the ball off his ear. Like that's crazy.
A golf ball?
I'm terrible with the golf club. He's like I get him right in the face. But
shit.
no, he's crazy.
So you remember like watching that all blow up, just being like, all right, like I might feel pretty dangerous and living on the edge, but like this is shit that's just beyond my pay grade. Yeah.
Oh yeah, like those guys are nuts.
Yeah,
like,
yeah.
I'm not that. It's cool. I'll watch.
Love to watch it. Yeah.
No, I'll watch it, but
and they're big fight guys too, right? Like Johnny and Steve-O and Wee Man. I feel like they're always going to fights and stuff. No.
Yeah. They're fight fans. Yeah.
What did Steve-O? You did some show with Steve-O where he was talking about. You were telling him about like knocking somebody out. And I wanted to ask you this because we've been talking a lot about, you know, just whether it's street fights or bar fights or in the cage and like the feeling of knocking somebody out and how long it takes for them to kind of realize they're out. And you used a term to describe it where it was like time traveling.
Yeah. Well, yeah, they lose time. It goes back. You lose, like you get knocked out. Guys will lose time. It goes back. Like I had one of my guys one time. He was doing well in the fight. Third round came out. And actually, I think the other guy, I thought the other guy tapped in the round before, but anyway, that's another story.
Yeah.
But anyway, so he's coming out and he gets hit with this overhand, out cold. They get him up, we get him up, and he's up, and he's standing there, and they go in to announce the winner, and they announce the other guy, right? And he goes nuts, and I got to grab him. He forgot he fought. He thought it was the beginning. They thought he just walked out, and they were standing there.
No
and instead
way.
of starting to fight, they gave the other guy the fight.
No way.
He didn't remember actually even fighting.
What
and he'd fight. It was the third round.
Where did he get hit that caused that brain lapse?
I don't know. He did the top of the head. I don't know, or on the side of the head. I don't know. He got knocked. He was out. But I mean, it just some guys lose time. They use space and time. I've read stuff in guys in the NFL getting knocked out in the game and not playing a great game, and I don't even remember where they parked their car.
Holy shit! That's what I'm saying. Like, there's got to be a part of the brain or the head where you can get hit, where it's like, and now you forget like where you're from. Like, this is like forgetting your own name, right? Like, fucking, you have to pee out of your butt if you get hit right there. Yeah, time traveling. That's fucking crazy. I think you said like a guy, I can't remember who you said you knocked out, but then he woke up on the ground and then like kind of had a little shake of like, still thought he was trying to fight.
I was telling you, that's the story I was talking about. No, I just choked the guy out and coming out of a bar. Right. We're walking out and I'm like, hey man, take it easy, take it easy. Finally went to the point. And I set him down outside and all of a sudden he wakes up and goes, don't even think about it.
Thought he was still fighting.
Those guys thought I was just about still struggling with me. He's like, where am I? Like, he's looking up like, oh, what?
Dude, that's terrifying. And then you wake up and realize that what you think is happening is not happening.
Right.
Yeah, that happened to me on mushrooms once. I was dancing with a girl in college, and things were getting pretty exciting, and I thought something was happening, and it was not happening. And so then that made me question everything. I was like, wow, I thought I came in my pants, and I didn't. Now what? Now I don't know what to believe. And then I went upstairs, and then I started watching MTV music videos, and Alanis Morissette was on, and my buddy was crying. It was a weird night.
Yeah, sounds like it got a little crazy.
Well, dude, I mean, doing mushrooms at a frat party was a bad idea because it was too much stimulation. You know what I'm saying? Like, I needed to be. When we started the night, I was just in an apartment with like 5 people, and it was chill. We had music. One of my buddies said, "Don't look at your hand because it's like gonna melt, and that's gonna freak you out." So then it was just like telling a kid not to press that button. I just started looking at my hand, and it started like, it was adding fingers, and I was losing fingers. And then we went to the Halloween party at the fraternity house, and it was just like too much. Yeah, I mean, it was awesome because it was just, you know, being on mushrooms and being around that many costumes was a lot. You know, I thought I met the real Batman.
Wow.
But it was just a guy named Jacob. Yeah.
How was mean Batman?
He was sweet, you know, he was taking the night off. When I watch like videos of the refs having, and this has happened a lot for victories of yours, where the ref has to come in and pull you off. What can you just take me through that moment? Is that like, does that make you want to go when you can feel that it's about to end and they're coming in to be like, all right, fucking, because it's weird because they're like, all right, kill each other, and then it's like, whoa, hey, don't kill him. There's a weird dynamic with that. But what is it like when you feel the ref coming over? Because I definitely feel like you're just trying to get in a few last more.
Well, not that. I go until the ref stops it.
Gotcha.
I mean, we saw with Sean O'Malley the other night.
Yes.
Like he thought he was done. He thought a guy had him out. I wound up fighting him for another couple of rounds.
Yeah.
And you never know. Like you could make a mistake. Something could happen. You could lose later. So when I got someone hurt, I see blood in the water. I finish them, and I'm gonna go until they pull me off. And as soon as I get the nod that it's over, I'm done. And I hope they're all right.
Yeah.
But until then, I'm trying to put them out.
Has there ever been a ref that's like hasn't been able to get like when they're trying to pull you off and you just
once you start pulling me off, it's over.
Yeah, you just get up and
I'm done. I'm good. I've won. At that point, I've won. And I used to tell my guys, hey, don't stop hitting them until the ref pulls you off. Now, don't get me wrong. If you got the guy's obviously out, you don't have to hit him again.
Right.
Right. If he's laying there flat, like it's okay to stop. I get that. That's fine. I don't walk off of that. But if the guy's still kind of moving, if the ref hasn't come over to stop it, you better hit him.
Fuck. Yeah, there was a lot of blood the other night.
Because sometimes there's guys that said if you let them survive, they'll survive. But if you get in a position where the ref has to stop it or you're going to hit him, because the ref doesn't have to stop it if you're not actively attacking him.
Right.
If he's just sitting there and you're giving him space, the ref's got time to decide. But if you run around the front and start trying to hit him in the head, then the ref's got to jump in. You know, it's better.
It's ultimately his call, yeah. The ref
yeah.
I mean,
and it's a tough call to make. Like as much I say it all the time. As much as I'll give, man, why'd you stop that? Or, oh man, he stopped that too soon. Even when he has stopped it too soon, you know, it was his judgment, and it's not an easy call anytime.
Is there like
and there's always going to be someone that said, not always, but most of the time, there's going to be someone that says you stopped it too early. Someone said you stopped it too late.
Well, most people want to see a bloodbath, right?
Well, not everybody. It just depends. But it just depends.
Yeah.
Just you, yeah. You're bloodthirsty, aren't you?
I'm a sick fuck. But there is, well, hey, man, I blame Mortal Kombat. And by the way, I just played the newer Mortal Kombat. Holy shit. I get why parents are like, I don't want my kids to play these games. The old school Mortal Kombat, the original, was like, finish him. And you take your hand, you like grab the guy's heart, you fucking take a bite out of it. You maybe call his ex, you say some creepy shit over the phone, right? Sext or something weird. But now it's like, you grab the guy, they push in like on a slow zooming shot, you rip his head off, then you like take his cock and like make him suck his own dick, but his head's off his body. It's like so specific and so visual. And I'm like, this is just a, I mean,
it's
it's like
it's so graphic, yeah.
It's so graphic, man. And I was like, we get the picture. The guy's dead, but like, I guess that's what, I don't know if it was kids yelping about the game, wanting it to get more intense. Were there games that you, you said you play the UFC game, right?
Well, I've played it.
Yeah.
Yes.
What other games?
I'm not great at it.
Do you enjoy the amount of like, graphic violence that there is, or are you, as now a parent, are you like, all right, we get it?
I'm not a big fan of doing all this stuff, but it is what it is. I like the fight games. I like watching them. But I like the first-person shooter games too. But I'm just not real good at them.
Even those give me anxiety, man.
Well, but I just don't. My thing is, I've never had enough time to get good at them, and I hate getting beat at stuff like that.
But look at the kids that are making like billions doing it. Isn't that crazy?
That's crazy, but more power to them, man. I think
because now it's tough to be a parent to be like, hey, don't do that, because then the kid's like, well, look at this kid, they're making millions, and it's like, yeah, but he plays all the time, and then the kid's like, well, then fucking let me do that, Dad. I'm not your dad. San Luis Obispo. We've talked about that area a lot. We haven't really gotten into the true origins of how that plays a role in your life. It plays a role in my life because I dated a girl in college that was up there. So I got to see the Isla Vista, the San Luis Obispo, the Santa Barbara, just like the different speed of life up there. And I'm always curious, like, I think we're all products of our environment. How much of that truly did influence like who you are now? And how much of that do you like, how much of like San Luis Obispo Chuck is still in you? Or is it now like
I was pretty set in my ways when I moved out of there. I mean, I lived there. I went up there when I was 18 for school, for college, and then I liked it up there, and I never left. Stayed there till I was about 40, and I moved down. Then I moved down to LA when I got married.
And that's where you started wrestling too, right? Or was that before that?
No, I wrestled in high school.
That's right. Yeah,
in Santa Barbara.
Yeah, that's right. Is it a big, the same way like high school football is huge in Texas? What's the wrestling community like in San Luis Obispo? Like, did you kind of take it up a notch?
Not really. I wrestled the college. Cal Poly was a great Division II school.
Yeah. Okay.
And then now we're Pac-10 for Division I, but we did okay. We had some decent. So they were great.
In high school, like the arenas weren't packed. It wasn't like a huge.
No,
event.
It's not a big, not there, not. And at my high school, I was like, after the league tournament for CIF. Yeah. I'd go train with our rival school because I was the only guy left from our team.
Oh shit!
Most of the time.
What happened to everybody?
They got beaten in the league.
Yeah.
they advanced to CIF. So, our team wasn't great, but it was fun, and they had guys, they had me, made me who I am. So it helped. My coach got
the coaches were dope. Yeah.
The coaches were great guys.
Yeah.
And they helped out, and we had some good work there.
But they could sense like the talent in you to be like, all right, like we should give a little extra attention to this guy because he's gigantic.
And it was like actually they were gonna stop. They were gonna cancel the program my senior year, but my junior year I placed it. I placed at CIF, and they're like, and the coach was like, or wait, did I place or I almost placed my junior year? All right, anyway. I had advanced. I asked if we had CIF. We had the CIF, and I was going to actually transfer schools because I want to keep wrestling. I want to wrestle my senior year.
Yeah.
And the coach was like, I placed my. Anyway, I was
a great time. It's a great, take a beat, think about the story.
Wow. one of those days.
This is one of those days. Sometimes, you know what? When like your brain ain't ticking in all the right moves and you got a little bit too much built up cum, I like to grab a can. Nope, is that not the script? I like to grab a can of Coors Pure Light Beer. Organic barley, organic hops, and water. Do we know what hops are? Yeah, but it's in here. And guess what? Tastes fucking good.
Anyway, so I want to continue. You know.
Yeah.
I played, and then my coach Bob Archer, who's the guy that made me wrestle anyway.
Oh, right.
From football, because we're in football, and he's like, if you haven't got a winter sport, you're gonna wrestle. So you do that. I'm playing baseball in the spring. He's like, oh, you're wrestling then.
He just saw you like, look at you. We're not wasting this body.
Well, I think he liked the training for football. It's cross training.
Yeah.
So I did that, and then I told him I want to keep wrestling. I don't know how we're going to work this out if we're not going to have a team here. And I was going to go to the rival school, which is a good school for wrestling. And he actually saved the program. He found another coach and kept it going for me. So it was really thankful that he did that. And, I got to have some fun my senior year.
And then, okay, so then when you left San Luis Obispo and went to LA to start taking things seriously, that's when you were bartending, right? And still trying to be, was accounting still like on the table as far as like a career, or was that completely gone at that point?
What point? Which point?
Leaving college.
Leaving college. It was still possibly, but I'd already started kickboxing.
Right.
While I was finishing up school, I started kickboxing.
Gotcha.
And I was like, well, I kind of want to, I could fight instead of get a real job. Let me try that out for a while.
Yeah.
And actually, when I started doing mixed martial arts, I was actually, at that time, I was debating switching, like maybe it's time to go get a real job. I'm not really making any money kickboxing. And, it's not.
Yeah, where do you even make any money kickboxing?
Yeah, K1 a little bit.
Yeah.
But they had a few places, but there wasn't much money in it. I'm like, my grandma was giving me a hard time that I had, you had a real job.
That grandma pressure's real.
Yeah, and she wanted to tell people I worked for some firm somewhere.
Yes.
She wanted, because you had an accounting degree, go get a real job.
Yeah.
Stop. My mom was more like, do what you want, son. Make yourself, do what makes you happy.
Yeah.
So my mom's always been great with that. So I just stuck around, and then I just happened to do a mixed fight. I got talked into doing a mixed fight and fell in love with the sport, and went from there. Stayed in it. Never got a real job. Got close, but I actually never applied for anything. I don't know if I could. I don't know if I could have sat around doing it.
I was gonna say, are there any firms that like are just sitting there kicking themselves, being like, "Fuck, dude, we could have like the promo videos we could have made, or like the marketing we could." Were there any places you were even like eyeing to work at? Or
no, not at all. It was funny because I'll tell you, my last year of school, in the 400 level classes, and a lot of them have groups, so we're going to make groups, and they have them to talk about what they're going to do, right?
Yeah.
All these guys are like, I've got an internship with this, I'm going to go with this job, I got this company, and they got all these, and then they come to me, and I'm like, yeah, I'm Chuck Liddell, and I'm here, finishing up school because I started it, and I'm going to be a fighter. And they're like, everyone's like, I don't want him on my team.
Yeah.
I don't want to be like. It was hard for me to find my first group.
Fuck.
But I got an A in that class. So I got.
Oh, you did.
I found once I got one group that they stayed with me. They liked it.
You said you like had that mentality of like not starting something and always finishing it, right?
Yeah. I mean, I finished. I'm glad I did it. Because especially back then when we were starting to promote the sport. And we're trying to convince people we're not Neanderthals. It was kind of nice to have a college degree, because they don't really mix for people. Hey, Neanderthal, college degree.
Not
quite mix, but yeah, it's one of the things. I started it. I'm almost done. I might as well finish it while I'm here.
You keep saying about the Neanderthal. Like, who did somebody?
Well, no. Back in the day, when the sport was first starting, you got people like. People, you get seriously, you'd be on a plane. Oh yeah, I'm on my way to go fight. I'm fighting the UFC. Oh really? That stuff in the cage? Yeah. Do you train for that, or do you just get off your bar stool and walk in? I'm like,
whoa.
Yeah. And anyway, I'll be talking over here. No, but
Yeah, no respect.
But they thought, and at that time it wasn't like they're trying to disrespect you, but they just kind of thought, these guys just go out and brawl.
They don't know anything about
train,
it. Yeah.
They don't do anything. Don't work at it. You just go out and brawl.
Wow. Do you get excited to like coach them up on and educate them, or are you just kind of like, all right,
and it was funny when we first went down to Mexico. We started doing. I went down for the first press tour, and we started doing stuff down in Mexico.
Yeah.
And it was like I started all over, like, because you go in and you get asked. Okay, like, so is it like Lucha Libre?
Oh my God! You see the movie?
Wait, for a second, when he first started, and they asked a couple questions, I'm out. Okay, we're back there. Okay, let me get my old hat on. Let's go. Let's start over again.
Have you seen the movie? What is it? Double Trouble with Dennis Rodman and Jean-Claude Van Damme? Is that what? Three Ninjas, yeah. Is it like Three Ninjas? Is that who you are? Which ninja are you of the Three Ninjas? Yeah, people only have what they know about, whatever is their connection to.
Well, like back when we were doing all that, like I remember when, Dana was going to fight Tito the first time.
Yeah.
And Dana's like, man, you need to do better on your interviews. Like, you got to start doing better. But it was like one of those things, like, you need to do better, okay?
How?
How? Can you help me?
Yeah.
Can you give me a little help here? And I actually, my buddy's sister was a like acting teacher, kind of like a drama teacher.
Yeah.
And she offered to give me interview lessons.
Oh, great.
I went and talked to her, and really what makes a pertinence to this story is, so she comes to me and she's like, okay, I want you to write down the 10 most common questions people give you. And I'll come up with a few and we'll talk. So I wrote down 10 of the most common questions. She goes, cross them. They're really just asking you 3 questions. And they're all stupid.
The same 3 questions?
It was the same basic. They're all basically asking the same three things, and then asking, are you WWE? Are you this? And they're just dumb. So, when you get those questions, get the question, you just go out there and just say yes or no to whatever the question is, and then talk for about a minute and a half.
Whoa. About what? Just something
what you want to talk about. Anything you want to talk about, give them something to play with. If they're any good, if they're any good, they can make that a great interview.
Because that way you're controlling it, right?
Because you're controlling. Now, and you're also, half the time these DJs haven't looked at the one sheet especially back then, and they didn't know what MMA was.
Yeah.
They don't know anything about the sport. So now you're saying what you want to say, and you're getting out what you want to say, and they'll pick off of that and play with that, not knowing anything. If they're good, they'll be able to play with that. And I mean, man, your interview's gotten so good. I said, yeah, I went and got a coach. I just went to 2 sessions with her, and I'm here. I think the number one thing I got from her too was like, they said, you're at about 2. I need you at about an 8.
Yeah.
I'm like, okay.
In what, like volume level?
Volume level, yeah. Just because I still have that. I struggle with that a little bit, but not as bad.
What about the pre-fight, like face downs? Is there like coaching for that? Like,
I think when people get all heated up there and
what do you think
I
of
think
that?
it's silly.
You think
I think it's so funny when guys get all real heated. I'm like, come on, man. Like, I've had guys push me in the back, and like I'm like, dude, we're tomorrow. We're getting paid for this tomorrow. I don't want to fight right now. Like,
the point of that. So So how do you view going into it?
I think some of those guys, what their point is, they want to intimidate you.
Yeah.
But see, the problem is I mean, I don't know why they think they're going to intimidate me, but I'm like, come on. And and Tito came after me at ours, got all mad, and people no one ever saw it. It's because I went like this.
You winked at him?
He was doing. And he went nuts.
That's amazing.
I'm dying.
That's like when someone's like freaking out, they get road rage, and you just kind of wave at them, or like they're flicking you off, and you're just like laughing. Like that's what I always do. I start laughing or give them a thumbs up. Something that's completely trying to pull the rug out from under their rage, and it just drives them crazy. But the wink is a powerful move, especially if someone's trying to like intimidate you.
And it's like, come on, man. By the way, you're getting very excited for a fight that's not going to happen for at least another 24 hours.
It's because it's because of all the cameras and everything, right? Like they know it's for show.
Well, it's for show. Some guys do it for show, but some guys do it. They're trying to intimidate the guy in front of them. Like they're really trying to intimidate.
They're trying to pump themselves up.
Pump themselves up. I mean, I don't know. I don't know why, but it's silly.
There's never been, well, there probably have been like straight up fights from those moments, right? That are real. Because sometimes I see it get too out of control, and I'm like, I don't know.
There have been guys. Well, the thing is, sometimes guys will try to pull something off.
Yeah.
And then someone will do something, and they'll react, right? Like when Jones put his head on wasn't him, but they put his head up and they started, and then he pushed him.
Oh, yeah.
And threw him. You know, they both got fined for that. It was stupid.
Yeah, you think about it in any sport, like that's why when I look at some post-game interviews in football games, when these guys are coming off the field, like Richard Sherman got blown up after the NFC Championship game for, being like, Michael Crabtree's a sorry-ass receiver. That's what you get when you come after me. I'm the best. And then, like, everyone freaked out because they were like, Jesus Christ. Like, and Erin Andrews was kind of, like, taken aback. And she was like, who are you mad at? Which, she did her job or whatnot. But it was, and she was, handled it fine because she let him say what he wanted to say and definitely was taken aback. But I'm like, dude, these guys are so fired up and they're trying to, like, they're going to war. And then immediately after, it's like Mike in your face. That's why even, like, post-fight for you guys, I'm like to be expected to be any... to coherent at all and to not be like dropping F-bombs or anything is so crazy. So like, I don't know, is that another acquired skill set to have to like adjust your mindset to like dominating and then immediately just being like, all right, now let me check into like, media Chuck and like try to.
Yeah, that's a little weird. I mean, but I think a lot of times once the fight's over for me, it's over.
Adrenaline kind of like.
Yeah, and yeah, you have a little time in between when they come to you and stuff. But I think some of the ones where you see guys they get knocked out and they're like my after I hadn't gotten knocked out and lost, John wouldn't let him interview me in the ring.
Oh really?
I mean, you don't know if I'm coherent yet.
Yeah.
And you don't know what I remember. Like I don't remember. You don't remember a little bit before, so it's like you ask me questions about. And I see him sometimes asking questions about him getting knocked out. I'm like, why are you asking him?
Yeah.
Like he remembers. Like you're showing him on the screen. He's like seeing it for the first time. Like
he's like, that's me.
Yeah, I really want to answer a question about that. Thanks for asking. Though.
Yeah.
Yeah, I just lost. I've been training my whole life for this, and
thanks for bringing that up.
I just ruined my streak. Yeah, thanks, bro. Like,
yeah.
You want me to step you through it? Like, help you? Like, thanks.
I know it. Or when they ask too, like I never get right after somebody will win a Super Bowl and they're like, "Do you guys think you can do it again?" It's like, fuck, is that really all you got right now? Like they just got it done, but it's the pressure and I guess and the expectations of like thinking when you get to that top spot like that like, and it is tough to maintain.
I know, but you're a reporter.
Yeah. You need those sound bites.
You think you're going to ask it no matter which team wins, so maybe you could come up with a better question?
Yeah. Did you ever like throw shade at a reporter and be like, dude, that's all you got?
One of the ones they were giving Anderson Silva a hard time at a press at an interview when I fought. I was on the card, but and they were giving him a hard time about not going down on top, not jumping on a guy that was a jiu-jitsu guy who was laying on his back.
Yeah.
It made a boring fight because he stood up. He stood up and jumped down. And he asked I forget what the stupid question was. I'm like, hey man, sit down and shut the fuck up. Yeah, that's a dumb fucking question. Quit being an asshole. And they're like, oh shit. I'm like,
anyway, so what's your favorite food? Yeah.
But I'm like, dude, I just had it. It annoys me, like, because it annoys me when someone complains. Hey, you can't complain about a striker that doesn't jump on top of a guy that's all he's got is jiu-jitsu.
Yeah.
Yeah, and that guy kept falling down and waiting for him. And like, just come back up here. If you want me to play with you down there, you got to get me there. I'm not giving it to you. I'm not gonna give you a shot at winning. Is
it? Would you?
But to be the way the questions were like, that's a disrespectful question, and it's not cool.
Do your research.
Yeah, I mean, or just don't be an asshole.
Well, that's the first. I mean, that's easier said than done, right? Also, how many of those guys? I also think about it in terms of, the same way that there's like agents in the entertainment business who were like tried to be actors or comedians and then aren't. Like, do you think there's reporters that were trying to be fighters and didn't, so now they're like on the other side?
Oh, I don't know. I don't overthink it like that. And I like most reporters. I don't really care. I don't really care about the questions at all. But
it'd be great if there was somebody who didn't make it and then they got a job as a reporter just to get into the locker room, and then they tried to fight you as you were post-fight, and they got famous for being this undercover reporter who was just trying to get.
Yeah, no, that probably wouldn't end well.
That would be. Yeah.
Well, I mean, honestly, no, but like my guys would go nuts. Like everybody, they'd probably. I mean, all the guys, my friends and my guys that would be back there.
There's enough of an entourage.
There's enough of an entourage. It would be ugly.
Have you had like super fans, like the way that people like we'll slip back into locker
Oh,
rooms.
you want to hear a funny one?
Please.
So I'm walking out. I forget. I'm trying to remember which fight it was. It was at MGM, and we had this guy. This guy that we didn't know was in the locker room when we were warming up, right? But I just assumed that it was
He's there.
He was there with the UFC guys.
Yeah.
It was like I thought it had some fan experience or something.
Yeah.
Because he was hanging in the back.
And the MGM does stuff right, so you're just kind of assuming.
So I'm just assuming. I don't really care.
Yeah.
So I'm good. So we're going, and so we go get ready and we start walking out, and we're walking, and the music starts playing. I start walking out. The camera starts moving, and he's right in front of me, right. One of the guys goes to me, "Hey, you got to get your guy behind you. He can't be in front of you." I say, "He ain't with me. I thought he was with you guys." And they're like,
Now it's a weird moment. Oh shit!
So they pull him out like and he stuck all the way back into the room, stuck in the locker room. And honestly, if he hadn't stood in front of me, if he'd just been behind me, he could have made it to the ring. He would have made it all the way to the ring.
Holy shit!
I don't think they would have let him stay there because he wouldn't have the path. But they would have just shoot him to the back because they would have assumed he was with me. But honestly, the only mistake he made was he tried to walk out in front of me instead of behind me.
So you're saying he could have been in the group to follow you to the ring?
If he'd followed me, because he was in front of me, and the only reason he got kicked out,
dude.
The only reason he got kicked out is because I said I didn't know who he was. Because they came, "Hey man, your guy has." They told me your guy's got to be behind you. And I'm like, "He's not my guy. I don't know that guy.
Fucked up.
I don't know him. This is on our way out. The music's already started. We're already walking out."
Oh man, dude, he was so close.
He was so
Did you
close.
find out? So they immediately just apprehended him.
Oh,
yeah.
I don't. Yeah, they did whatever they do with him. I don't know. Maybe I would have given him a ticket and let him stay. But.
Yeah, just be like, "Hey, I applaud the effort."
Was that guy? Did you ever see the guy that did that? Did you ever see that big Chuck, like doll, like an oversized Chuck doll guy?
No. What? Can we pull that up?
He showed up. He went to the
Was a guy dressed as you or no?
dressed as me, like in this big suit he had made, right? He spent much money. He actually got into the fight, walked in. He was walking around the ring in this thing, and that's him.
Oh my God!
He got into the fight. He on his own, without any credentials or anything. Got into the fight, got in there, and was walking around. And they finally figured out that who is that? No one knows who that guy is. And I'm like, why? And they figured out that he was not supposed to be there.
Yeah.
And they actually gave him a ticket. I gave him a seat. Hey, we'll get him a seat somewhere. Like, let him stay.
Isn't that so funny that, like...
And then they brought him out for a few things because he was
was he a cool guy?
Oh, he's a really cool guy. Nice guy. Really nice guy. But
That's thinking outside the box because that's an incredible suit and also, like, adds to the whole spectacle of the event, right? So people are, like, fired up. That's crazy. Was he a cool guy? Was he
he was cool.
Fight fan?
Yeah, he was a fight fan. Just a fight fan. Decided.
Did he tell you where he got that suit, or did he make it?
He said he had it made. He said I think it said it cost like $5,000 or something.
Fuck yeah, that looks
crazy.
legit.
Oh, it is funny.
I mean, that's the type of shit that you cool. Like. I don't know. You would see like on Halloween in Los Angeles in the West Hollywood parade every year. There's like, it's arguably the biggest Halloween parade in the country, and there's hundreds of thousands of people, but people have spent, you see like $20,000 stormtrooper costumes, so like that would fit right in the middle of that. Was it like a tiny guy inside, or was he still kind of? No,
normal looking guy.
Yeah. Like when I worked at Universal Studios, I was always thrown off by, when you see like the guy who actually played Curious George was like a little person. Or then you'd be like a tiny little girl was Dora the Explorer, and I was always just like hoping like Woody Woodpecker would just be some, jacked Filipino dude. It was never what you thought was going to be under there. That's a show that they should fucking create, is people dressed in suits like the real fighters, and then have them fight. Because I don't know how durable or you could move around in that thing. Was he pretty like stuck or no?
No, he can move around. He moved around pretty good. I always looked north.
Got the haircut, even the fucking goatee. Will you pull back on the other pictures for a second? There were other people it looked like that went as Chuck for Halloween. Like, yeah, go scroll right there. Who's this guy? Chuck Liddell Halloween costume. When do people start going as you for Halloween?
I don't know. You know, the funny thing is, like, someone asked me, do you care that Randy Couture went out as you as on Halloween? I'm like, he borrowed my shorts.
He came to my house. It was my idea for the costume. I'm going as him next Passover. That's hilarious.
It was funny actually that night because the TMZ talked to him. When he talked to TMZ, it was hysterical. Like because he was being funny.
What'd they say? Oh, to Randy?
They were talking to him and said something, and he's like, "Oh, what? You want to play?" Like, I was like,
yeah.
Whatever. It was funny.
Look at this guy. Got the Iceman shorts.
Yeah, those are my gloves and my shorts.
That's amazing.
That's awesome.
Yeah, that's another like you made it thing. People go as you for Halloween. Like that's crazy. Does that even register or no? Is it just another notch on the belt?
The biggest one was cool. The coolest one I think for me was the video game was cool.
Yes.
And then having my son watching him play with an action figure and having me beat up like Hulk and Superman.
Fuck yeah, dude.
You know, I win every time.
Yeah.
So
it would be fucked
cool,
if he was just like, Dad, like, I'm sorry, but like, it's Superman. Like, we all know that he's.
I know that I would have been okay with it. It's all right.
Yeah. At least I get to fight him. Yeah. Get the opportunity. Yeah. We talked about the nickname Iceman, but can you rehash it for people that don't? I know you've probably talked about it at great length, but was there ever, because it's so crazy to me to think that you just always have been calm, cool, and collected under pressure. But I would like to assume that there was something that happened that made you, you know, kind of become that way, or was it just always?
I got the nickname. I'd already been, you know, by the time I was you know, fighting, I'd wrestled, I've done karate matches, I've done a bunch of stuff my whole life.
Right.
But then I got, really what happened was it was like my third or fourth kickboxing match. And I was in Strongbow Arena. I was in Strongbow Arena in Bakersfield. And, you know, they had a lot of fights on that night, but they wanted us there at 5. And then I was going to probably fight till 9:30. And so John said, I'm going to come find you and tape you around 8:30.
Yeah.
So at about 8:30, John's looking for me, and he can't find me. He's like, oh, man, did he freak out and leave, or what's going on? They couldn't find me anywhere. He's looking all over for me. He finds me in a corner sleeping with my head on a tie pad.
Whoa.
And so he started calling me the Iceman because he had like 200 amateur fights, like 20 pro kickboxing fights, like
a lot of experience.
30, 40 kickboxing, and he got nervous up and down before every single one of them.
Which is normal.
It was normal, yeah. And I just didn't. I mean, it's kind of one I've always looked at it like, as long as you do everything, there's nothing you can do at this point.
Right.
Right. It's kind of like I was a good test taker. I performed well on tests.
Oh, really?
But my thing was I would study until I have to close the book, and then they start the test. I'd relax and just go. I wasn't stressing out the whole time I was doing the test.
See, I would freak the fuck out. So second guess.
Yeah, for me, and so that always made me. I feel the same way about fighting. I do everything I can to get ready. Once training camp is over, worrying about the fight's not going to do me any good. I mean, I do all my reps in my head. I do all the stuff I'm supposed to, but it's not going to. I do everything I think I'm supposed to get ready for the fight, but worrying about it's not going to help me any. So why do it?
Yeah.
Why waste the time and energy worrying about it? I'm gonna go out there and I'm gonna do I'm gonna do my best and see what happens.
Did you see somebody in your family or that you looked up to like have that sort of mindset though? Because that's unless you develop it from reps.
My grandpa and my mom reinforced it too. Was always, you know, I don't care how it ends up, as long as you go out there and do your best, you won. In my book, you know, so for me, I always knew if I go out, I used to get one, hey man, go out and kick his ass. I go, yeah, I'm gonna do my best. And people are like, why do you say that? I said, but that's what I said. To me, that's what it meant.
Takes the pressure off.
I'm gonna do my best. That's all I'm gonna do. And then there's no pressure. I'm gonna do my best. That means I'm gonna win. To me.
Gotcha.
I'm gonna go out there and do it. If I go out and do my best, I'm ready for this fight, and I'm gonna go out and do my best. I'm gonna win.
Yeah.
And the same thing, I always thought, all right, after I lost, man, I know what I did wrong. I can fix that. Let's do it again. Let's go right now.
Wow. So you could break it down like immediately.
That's how I felt, but that's mentally how you feel. And
Yes.
how I felt wasn't questioning myself. You know, it was just,
You ever get nervous for any match ever?
not fighting now.
Fuck, that's so crazy. Yeah, I couldn't fucking. You said you played baseball for a little bit, right?
A little bit.
What position again?
I played catcher and outfield. I played my freshman year in high school. And
Yeah, that's when I stopped. I was a pitcher and would get. My mom was like, "There's no way you're gonna play post." Like, basketball. I was trying to do all three sports, and then basketball became the main one, and was the one I had the most fun at and was the most confident in because I could play all the time by myself and not, need somebody else to do a lot of the training that it required at a certain point. But baseball was like I'd go out there to pitch and just be fucking sweating bullets the whole day, like even after the game. And even if I had games where I pitched really well, still was so, it was just the pressure of being out there by yourself and like parents screaming and like, even at that age and like, now being a parent for kid athletes, it's like some parents scream some awful shit to where you're just like one friend's dad that's just like, your fucking curve's not working, mix it up, god damn it. And you're just like, well, that's now in my head for the rest of the game, so I can't shake that, and I'm already, and it's just such a one-on-one experience, like, so mad props, I guess. Was there foods or things you could do that would contribute to it, or was it just all mental? Like a certain snack that like made you easy? Too many what? Oh, dude, I thought Chuck just quit the podcast. Don't ask me about my fucking food. If there's one, he just goes, I'm out. If there's one thing, you know what? Keep it rolling. Well, here, I'll tell you about my snacks that keep me calm and keep me loose. Chips and salsa, that's kind of the go-to if I'm looking to chill out. And there's only a few things that go good with chips and salsa, and it's things that come in a can that are pure. And if you're sucking on something pure out of a can, make sure that it's a Coors Pure light beer. And I know you're asking, Adam, what's the barley like? Well, it's organic. Are there hops? Yeah. Are they organic? You're goddamn right they are. Is there a little bit of water in there? Well, that's what adds that extra flavor. The can's cool. You still got that mountain on the front. And guess what? Listen to the sound when you open it. I already opened it. And the best part about Coors Pure is you can drink it in the daytime, you can drink it in the morning, you can drink it at night. I'm not saying do that, but look, the pandemic's been tough on us all. So if you're looking for that extra pick-me-up or that put-me-down, Coors Pure is that move. I'm going to probably get high and watch the Sandlot tonight, and I'm going to need a couple friends to accompany me for the journey, And since Benny the Jet isn't a real character, the best next thing is a Coors Pure. Organic barley, organic hops, and some water. Let's see what that sip sounds like again. Well, I think it's safe to say at this point, Chuck is taking a shit. So if he doesn't come back in 8 minutes, then we can assume that there was no teepee in there and he was texting his wife to drive down and bring it, because if there's anything I know about being a dude, it's being trapped in the bathroom and having to improvise when there's no teepee, because nobody looks for the teepee immediately. You sit down, okay, you go, all right, it's clearly there was a big accident about to happen. You're not checking for the teepee. You sit down, you get everything to where it's supposed to go, and then you reach over to finish the job. So I feel like that's where he's at right now. Hopefully I'm mistaken. Or it could just be a super long pee. I don't know. Like maybe he said he drank 15 bangs. Like that's a lot. There's a lot of chemicals coming through his cock right now. So if it is another 5 minutes, which we've got about 8 minutes left of the show. By the way, this is the time for you guys at home to go take a pee, because you're probably wondering, well, all right, we were building to a fun story. Will it pick up when Chuck comes back? I don't know. You know what I'm saying? He could have fallen asleep in the bathroom. There is that clip online, which you should look up if we haven't put it in the show already, of him falling asleep on the couch in Dallas. Very entertaining. But also, I get it. I've been there. It's like you get so tired, so worked up sometimes, and your eyes and your brain are just working overtime. You know what I'm saying? Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome back to the set of Icebreakers, yes, the one, the only. Did he wipe? We'll find out. Chuck Liddell. Yes. That was a long pee.
Yeah, it was. A lot of water after. I did went on a hike this morning, so.
You went on a hike this morning?
Yeah.
Where to?
I'm not sure what it was called.
Dude, you are just maximizing your time in places where the outdoors is right there for you.
Right.
Whose idea was the hike? You or the wife?
My wife.
Yeah. But we talked about that earlier about, man, like showing up and having somebody that's like outlining the schedule big time, right?
Right.
Because that's never been my strong suit. Yours?
Not at all. No, she makes sure we get everything in, so it's good.
Like if you're going to like on your vacay that's coming up, like do you even get like a menu and it's like pick, or is it like, hey motherfucker, here's what we're doing from 9
it's
to
always
6?
what I want. What do you want? She asks for my input.
Oh, good. Okay.
What do you
cool.
want? What do you want to do here? What are we doing there? But like keeping it organized and everything lined up, and then I put it in the calendar, and then I'm in charge of making sure we make it to everything.
Oh shit.
Yeah, so it works out good.
It's a good balance. Is there? What about for movies? Who's picking that? You have to trade off. Is she in a rom-com? If she's in a rom-com type mood, and you're in like I want to watch this.
That's actually my favorite genre. Actually,
Is it really?
Yeah.
Are you being serious?
I'm being serious. Actually, that's funny. That's what I always get. Everyone always laughs. She
dude.
She would like the scary. She'll pick scary movies or action movies over those, and I like light. I like to forget about things and watch movies. I'm not trying to get too serious.
So she's like, "Yo, Godzilla
and
versus
scary
King Kong."
For some reason, scary movies just don't they don't work. We were watching. I forget which one I was watching, but it's real scary. It was pretty good. Like they're out there and they got this crazy thing in the middle of nowhere, and then they start. The guy gets it. The one of the bad guys gets them, and but then they start wrestling, and I'm like, oh, like that.
It takes you out of it.
Well, it's like it was that guy. There's no way that guy could hurt me. It's like that guy's screwed. Like okay, now it's not even fun. Now I'm not
That's
scared anymore.
amazing.
Like, you gotta make it.
Wait, so
if he's that horrible.
Wait, so you get taken out of action movies because you're like, I could kick that guy's ass. This isn't believable.
No, not that, but like a scary movie. There's no. That was terrible.
Yeah.
I can't even. Now I can't even. It's not even.
But Love Actually, when you see a guy show up to a girl's house with a sign and he's like, "Hey, shh," and he's doing that, you're like, dude, that gets me every time.
Yeah. Yep.
Do you have a favorite rom-com?
I don't really.
Yeah.
I mean, there's a lot of.
When Harry Met Sally.
That one's hard. That's good.
Yeah. You've Got Mail.
You Got Mail was okay.
Yeah. All right. Well, I am determined by the end of episode 10 to find out what your favorite rom-com is. And guess what we're going to do? We're going to read a scene from your favorite rom-com.
Okay. All right. That sounds good. Let's do it.
Yeah. I don't need you to be super excited about it. I'm just telling you what's going to happen. I'd say my favorite rom-com. Man,
The Ugly Truth's a good one. You like that one?
Great. It's a great movie. Underrated. Knocked Up is a rom-com. I feel like that's pretty good. It's a newer one. Sleepless in Seattle is kind of like a home run to me. Failure to Launch. McConaughey crushed that genre for a while before. And I think he talks about that in his book about switching from rom-coms to not rom-coms. Yeah. Hugh Grant was also a big rom-com guy, and then he picked up that. Was it a tranny prostitute? Yeah. Hugh Grant, yeah. No, that's Eddie. But what did Hugh Grant? He was just because that was like the defining moment for Leno. Remember, where Hugh Grant that happened, then he was on Leno, and Leno was like, so what happened the other day? And then like that was like a big. Did you ever go on Leno?
No, but actually that was the talk show that I was supposed to be going to when I was getting punked.
Was Leno?
Yeah.
Oh shit.
I think I did a skit for him once though. I did like a skit. I never went on, but I did a skit like I was in a doll going looking for dolls. the doll place.
That's
amazing. It was kind of funny.
Like American Girl or something, or Build-A-Bear.
It was some small doll shop, and I was like a doll collector or something. I forget what it was exactly.
Very funny.
It was pretty funny.
Yeah. You're not the like typical doll collector stereotype.
Yeah, I know.
What about pawn shops? You ever go into pawn shops and try to sell your memorabilia, or try to see guys that are buying your memorabilia? Is stuff of yours out there? Can I borrow $50,000? Wait, what if you were to? This is a great question, actually. Because you were telling me that your belts are like tucked away in a closet, right? Oh. Which is so crazy. If you needed to go take something from your collection of prizes and trophies and treats, what would you take down to the shop first?
Well, I definitely wouldn't go to a pawn shop.
Yeah.
I'd probably put them somewhere else.
Put them online, probably.
Online somewhere. Yeah.
Pawn shop seems like a little bit of a scam.
Yeah, well, that seems like you're a little desperate, and they're harder to sell. I don't think I'd have a hard time selling my belts.
For sure. Yeah, online. What do you think? What do you think they legit you could get one for?
I have no idea.
All right. Well, again, these are things maybe we explore on the podcast.
Well, I'm not looking to sell them, but
Yeah.
okay, yeah.
Have people hit you up though to try to buy them?
I've had people mention buying things. I just haven't really followed it at all.
It is bonkers when you
followed it up.
see was it OJ, right? They got in trouble for the juice. Oh, there it is. Did he really sign that, by the way? When? Pre or post, he was on Twitter.
It's post-murder pre-trial, I think.
Gotcha. Wow. When I saw OJ on Twitter, that was mind-blowing. When he was just like in a Target parking lot being like, hey guys, like, what did he say? His first video was something about like, was that what it was?
Yes.
I thought it was something about like, I found a new pumpkin spice candle. It was something that was kind of like, wow.
The first one I saw was him saying, these cops got to do the right thing like OJ.
That's what it was, yeah. Yeah. Hey man, this might not be the time for that. Is there somebody that you follow on Twitter or Instagram that that you're just a big fan of? That you're, you know what I'm saying? Like when MySpace first came out, I remember you could put people in your top 8 and your top 40 that you didn't ever know. And now with Twitter and Instagram, it's like, shit, man, like one little DM and that's a new friendship. Like, do you have anybody like that on Twitter or Instagram? Where you follow them, but you haven't like talked to them yet?
I don't know.
Yeah.
No.
All right. And that's how we're going to end the show. Look, not
yeah,
all
no,
the...
no. Yeah, you know, MySpace was funny. I used to get my buddies would come to me and go, bro, how come I'm not in the top 8? I'm like, you know me, right?
Yeah, we have like a real friendship.
And I don't have a MySpace.
Oh, you
I
didn't?
didn't have a MySpace.
They made one up for you.
No. Somebody, what happened was there were about 12 or 13 MySpaces on there.
Yeah.
My buddies were telling me there was ones on there, and they
Yeah,
thought,
fake accounts.
fake accounts. And I actually talked to the guy trying to get them pulled all down because I didn't want, because they were saying they were me. And I'm like, I don't know, that kid all pulled down. So
Yeah.
my friend knew him, and he said, well, I don't want to pull them all down. Will you keep one up? I said, sure. So he gave me the password for the guy that had like 25,000 followers, like whatever. He gave me his password. And he had most of the information, right? He said I went to San Marcos High School in San Diego instead of Santa Barbara.
Yeah.
Santa Barbara, but yeah, it was pretty funny. Like I went back and I looked at some of it because the old messages wouldn't be gone. The old messages going back and forth.
Oh yeah.
And this guy was calling. He was telling girls, "Oh yeah, I was single at the time, so it didn't really matter. I didn't have a girlfriend, but he was like telling girls, "Oh, just come up to me after the fight, and I'll hang out with you or whatever." I'm like, well, but unless what if I had a girlfriend?
Yeah, what if you had a girl? Yeah.
Like she's gonna believe I don't have a MySpace.
She comes up, yeah.
But then he was also like soliciting naked photos and gave him a Hotmail account. I don't have a Hotmail account. But he was giving him a Hotmail account. And then there he'd be like, "Oh, I'm sorry, I'm married," and he'd be like, "Oh, I don't care, you're married. Send me pictures anyway." I'm like, "What?" I'm like, so that
nice.
I mean, that was stuff like that bothered me. But I mean, that's why I got it down. But
Yeah, MySpace.
That's the only way I had a MySpace. And then I didn't. Otherwise, I just didn't have time for MySpace. I didn't deal with it.
People got so pissed when they weren't in your top 8 or your top.
Yeah, it was kind of crazy.
Top 40 is when it got ugly because then it was like, right? Was it top 40 they had?
I don't even remember.
50. It went up from 8, and it was like.
Look, I got a Twitter when I started doing Dancing with the Stars in 2009 when they told me I should have one.
Yeah.
I wasn't,
To put up content.
I wasn't much of a social media guy.
Yeah. You're pretty good now. You put up some fun stuff. Yeah.
And I do and that was the thing. People ask me, do other people answer your questions? And no, like they can't answer my questions like me. There's very few people who thought that I can trust to answer questions because I mean they don't know the answers.
You're good with social media. You're better with texting. Can I play a video you sent me yesterday?
Sure.
Great. So
that video, yeah.
As if people need more of a.
See, I told you I'm a great karaoke singer.
There you go. That was actually very in key at the end there. All right. Well, that's what you're singing when we go do
If I'm in
karaoke.
key, it's by mistake.
Yeah. yeah. That was amazing. All right. Icebreakers, episode 5 in the can. Chuck Liddell, Adam Ray. Peace.